3, 2, 1.
Paint Death Techno.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan, also known as Admiral Redbeard, part of the Rhinovision channel, and we are here. Matt's making a lot of noise over there already. We are here doing our very first episode of a D&D podcast, which we have decided to name The Expired Toadstool. So we're just gonna have just gonna be a couple of them here, just chatting on some D&D topics and all that, and we're just gonna see what happens. Today's topic that I'm gonna toss over to Matt here to start with is how did you get into D&D, and what kind of things would you tell yourself if you were starting right now, and what type of advice would you give starting players? Matt, take it away.
Can you rephrase the question?
Sorry.
Can
you use the word in a sentence? All of us at the same time.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna talk over each other
Everybody,
the whole
yes.
time.
That's just what we always do anyways. Just no one's actual opinion matters. Well, I got started.
For the sake of dramatic effect, it was a rainy night.
It was. No, because I'd made my character outside with the help of Jay, which was probably a bad idea. And I can't remember who I made a character with.
So
I think it was
somewhere out there, it was raining.
Yes, but there was somewhere in the world it was raining, and I'm sure it was very dramatic. But yeah,
The storm was brooding overhead.
Nate decided to allow me to be a part of his game. Long after the fact, he was like, I don't really want you to be a part of the game early on because I really, really don't like you or want to be around you. But, you know, fine. I suppose if I have to let you be a part of the game, he was like, go make a character, not that I really care.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Because we already have.
At that point, I was like, what, number 9
Yeah.
in the fucking session, so.
And also, I didn't know you wanted to play. In my defense, I was literally like, we brought it up, and the whole time it's like, I don't know if Matt wants to play. And the next thing I was like, oh, he does want to play. Cool.
I just assumed there was too many people for starters.
Oh, there was by the end.
Yeah, there was,
by
yeah.
the end. But yeah, everybody started up a game and I jumped in late, and my character meant very little to the rest of the party. I just kind of showed up in a fucking coliseum and...
I don't know, Ryan's character loved you.
Well, yeah.
I did, yes.
We had a romance pretty early on, which went nowhere because he doesn't finish. So...
It was just a lot.
Thanks, man.
You have to do that towards the camera. There you go.
But aside from that, way back in the day, I played a little bit of, what was it, 3rd edition or something like that, and a little bit of Vampire the Masquerade, which didn't go well. Because we did not exactly have a very good DM for that. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. It's a cat.
Kit?
Like super dead though.
Yeah.
You alive, sleepyhead?
What are you, Nate?
Fuck?
Oh. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Nate. For the sake of dramatic effect, it was a stormy night. I was originally going to plan on playing D&D 3.5 with my ex-girlfriend. Well, yeah, anyway. Originally I played 3.5. I built a half-orc fighter. And...
Stereotypes.
Yeah.
Super original. At least you weren't a human.
Fighter-Man. Fighter-Man.
Well, basically, everyone I was playing with was like, just play a fighter. It's the easiest class out there. So I was like, okay, I'll play a fighter. And then as far as race, it's like, I just want to be a big, strong dumbass. So they put me into half-orc. And then from there, I was in 4th edition for maybe 5 months. Not long at all.
Well, I thought the rule was we don't talk about 4th edition.
Well, we don't. I mean, there was cool stuff in it. Like, the artwork I thought was badass.
That was
but
my
overall,
understanding of D&D. We don't talk about 4th
Nobody
edition.
talks about 4th edition.
those were the dark days before the Empire and the Fire Nation took over.
Before the Fire Nation attacked.
And then, let's see. Then I hopped into 5th edition after watching a podcast called Temple of the Lava Bears by Loading Ready Run. And then after that, I got into it even more.
Repeat that if I wanted to.
Nope.
Temple of the Lava Bears by Loading Ready Run.
Sure.
Yep.
I don't know what language you just spoke, but...
It's Comish.
Elferish.
And then from there, hopped into Critical Role. And then one night at the pub, I was talking with a few people of how I want to play D&D. Jay and Lorelai, Lane, Brandy and Jens. And then we were all like, okay, we're going to start building a small party. And then we assembled that party, and then I'll slightly segue into how Kassy got started.
Oh yeah, like it was happening in my house at the time because Nate was living with us. Well, we were roommates. That
I love
sounds
the
weird.
official Minnesota start, Kassy talking. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't you know? Welcome to Little Canada.
But like I had heard about it, and I had a cousin tell me when I was like 15. He was like, "You should really play D&D. You would like D&D." And I'm like, "Nah, that's for fucking nerds."
Now look where you are.
No way. But then like everybody else was like doing this cool thing, and I was like, "I want to try it. Can I join too?" And
Of course,
So-
I was like, "Fuck that."
no, Nate's like,
Gatekeeping
"Fuck
for the
that.
win over here.
You're a woman.
I
You
allowed
can't play
you all to
D&D."
play.
Captain Pineapple was gatekeeping everything.
Who's the keymaster?
And then like Nate wouldn't shut up about this Critical Role show, and now that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
I think most of my dice in here are Critical Role dice. But yeah, rolled up a
Besides the
tiefling druid because I didn't know it sounded cool.
None of us knew what the fuck we were doing.
I mean,
It's like the idea of I told Lane how to build a character. It's like, oh, you want to play a cleric? You want charisma to be your high stat, and then later learning, it's like, oh my god, it's wisdom. Fuck everything. Good times.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of broken things about that first game.
Oh god, yes.
We
Like
were figuring
Brandy's
out what we were
wizard just
doing.
being like, oh, you can just use any spell you want as long as you have the
Always.
spell slot for it.
forever.
You don't have to have like a specific amount.
Let's face it, we didn't know what
obviously.
the fuck we were doing anyway.
Right. What's dual wielding? You can attack with both weapons at once. There's no way this will be a problem.
Meanwhile, 40d6
Yeah,
later.
meanwhile.
I actually put the smile away, and I want.
That's my tip for all you new players out there.
Oh yeah, we gotta do
Trick
that
your
part.
DM into giving you shit you shouldn't have.
Yeah, like a great idea of like when you randomly throw them into a terrible encounter that might have repercussions, and then it's like, oh, what do you all want? Just let me know. I want this, this, and this. I want 2 scimitars that do 10d6 damage.
I think
Each.
you'd fucking remember what I asked for in that.
No one remembers. Wait, you wish for someone to come back from the dead.
Did I?
I think so.
Is that how we cursed? What's his fuck?
That sounds like something you'd waste a wish on.
No, I
No,
think.
Lorelai did
Yeah,
that.
Lorelai did. I don't
Lorelai
remember
did
what
that.
you did
I don't
with
know
her.
if I used mine.
There's a couple people who didn't use theirs. Well,
'Cause
pretty
I
much
could
this
not
like
fucking
giant
think of
toilet
anything.
seat with tentacles came down from the sky and was like, "Hey, you guys get a wish because you, I don't know,
You
flushed
freed
all
me
the
from,
you
like,
flushed
my
all the
prison."
poop out of the city.
That was a fun mission.
We did a thing.
You killed a player character in that whole situation, didn't you?
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I killed,
Jensen's character, Kelsier.
no, I killed her in the bird herder.
Bird herder.
Oh, the bird herder.
And actually, maybe I did kill Kelsey.
I could have sworn you also killed Kelsier.
I thought Kelsey was already gone.
We the important things we don't talk about his next character, but
Don't be a
Hey,
douchey character.
which one?
Don't punish the other players
The
if you're
next
not
two
having
were
fun.
both
was it
horrible.
Namfoodle?
It was Namfoodle
Hey.
and Nanny Boo Boo.
We don't talk about Nampoodle.
I was
Again,
gonna interject really quick. He died.
Who the fuck are you?
Kelsier died on the bridge.
oh, he did die.
He died on the bridge. Yes.
There for the session, and I'm like, well, wow, fuck, this is my fault.
Yeah, and then,
Oh, there's that bridge. That's right, the bridge.
but yeah, Cassie joined, and then we had a one shot where it was Jay, Lorelai, Kelly, Ryan, and Cassie.
Oh, that was the greatest thing ever. That was the fight that I ran away from.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna throw 3 goblins and then a young dragon, and then it was like, what the fuck, Nate? Why would you throw this at us? I'm like,
Nope.
I don't know what I'm fucking doing either. I just wanted a fucking dragon, because dragons are cool as fuck.
I mean, that
It's in
is
the title of the game. It's supposed to be a prerequisite for every encounter, right?
It is?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
by the way, has anybody actually fought a dragon in a dungeon?
Has anyone fought a
Dungeon inside of a dragon?
Did we? No.
We've
I feel
barely-
like that-
as far
have
as
we
all
even run into a dragon in a dungeon?
technically,
The closest thing to would be Nate's last campaign with that undead dragon thing in.
Oh, I was gonna
Heinz's,
say-
Oh, that's
I was gonna say in
right.
yours when we had to get stones. We were running.
that was a
running
Hydra.
I thought one of them was. Oh, we
No,
didn't
that
run
was
into
a
the
Yeah,
Hydra.
cave
you
dragon.
didn't actually run into the cave dragon because you had to clear the entire dungeon first. You
And
guys
we
got a
chickened
third of the
out.
way, like get 2/3 of the way through, and they're like, "No, what? Never mind. That bug just stabbed me, and now can see into my soul and
That is
pilot me like a goddamn marionette doll."
No, that's
bad
what it was.
idea.
That's what it was. Your character went back to
Yeah.
the city and found out that someone put a nightmare on a beholder.
Oh yeah.
And then it's like, well, now we all have to head fucking back to the city
we
to save that town.
accomplished-
What about the rest of this cave? Fuck the rest
The
of
whole
this game.
deal with the cave was we needed to get enough crystals so we could float some. Or no, so we can make the magic crystal. And we had enough to make the magic crystal.
Yeah, we needed to make a
Mission
magic crystal to
accomplished.
cast Speak
We're
with Dead
done.
for free. Good times were had in that camp.
Yeah, where you didn't need a corpse to speak with dead. You said it knew where they died.
Yeah.
Which made it so much easier.
I mean,
Well, especially since we as the party never truly understood how the fucking thing worked. You can do it on anybody. No, it has to be legacy only. Check with DM. It's anything. What the fuck?
right? Nobody asked.
Did
Ask
we,
for clarification on your magic item.
did we really need to talk to any other dead people, though?
What did it matter?
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
You had a necromancer, so it was fine. Could have if
Did
you
we
wanted.
though?
Did we?
Did we though?
I mean, not at the start. He's like, I want to make stools. He wanted to be a stool wizard.
That's right. But
So cast
no,
butt
that's
bullets?
because he thought conjuration, or he got conjuration and illusion mixed up.
Right.
So
He
can make
conjured
butt
a
bullets,
stool
right?
expecting somebody to fall through
bullets?
it.
Butt bullets.
Being a stool. I'll leave.
Take your pineapples and get out.
We do have a
fucking
coconut
hate-
upstairs as well.
Fuck
He's still here? Fuck.
the coconut.
Whoa. Down. Down. We'll get you a watermelon if that's what you want.
So what the
Watermelon?
second part of the question was advice?
I guess we kind of covered like
I
how
think-
we all got into it.
Yeah, I think the most important advice I've ever heard is just find a group that you're comfortable with.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't feel
100%.
welcome, or you don't feel comfortable, or you don't feel like you're able to do what you want out of the game, find a different group. That group's not for you.
Oh, and also communicate with your DM.
Yes.
Because, I mean, considering... And don't get me wrong, our games are completely far-fetched compared to, like, normal... I mean, anybody you know that you would tell DM, like, about your game, if I were to say, oh, yeah, so I have 8 player characters in my game, they would just have, like, a heart attack and nearly pass the fuck out.
It's alright. At least,
How do you do it?
at least you've never had 15.
Right. No, I just had 8 and then 15 NPCs.
I would
still have
preferred
those
Beat
ones.
that, other DMs! 22 versus 1 for a final fight, and they lost.
Yeah.
I lived.
Only because I'm like, this is just going nowhere fast. He'll be dead in the next round. Settle down.
I mean, that was... No, I have like 2 more nopes.
Yeah, but communicate with with your DM, because especially if it's something they're doing, because obviously DMs have their own story point thing. And as a DM, if you're starting out, if you're gonna have certain situations in game, you also gotta make sure that that's okay with your players. Like the way I DM is that there's a lot of real world situations like
Emotional trauma.
emotional trauma and the kind of stuff that in real life would make you nauseous. So having that in game might trigger somebody or make them feel uncomfortable. And if that's not for you, then you got to know that ahead of time so you're not like caught unawares by it. And if you're having problems with another player, talk to the DM. They might not realize everybody is having problems with that character, that player, and they could ask him to leave.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
I think we've done that once.
stop worrying about alignment, because I'm steadfast on the mentality that alignment is only to help you build how your character views shit.
I was gonna say,
It's
I don't
not
even know
a
my
fucking
alignment.
law.
Which character?
That's true.
Like how you pay attention to mentalities about things. Like, oh, there is like a lost child. Do I help them find their way home and spend the rest of the day trying to help them find their way home? Or do I just look and go, sucks to be you, kid, and keep walking? That's about the extent of it.
Do I help them find their dog? Of course not.
Oh, yep. No.
What's the worst
Why
that
would
could
we
happen?
do
Yeah,
that?
what's the worst that could happen? It's not
Evil dolls full of meat will attack you. It's fine.
Hey, that was a Team Elf mission.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good mission. Cause
Team Elf.
Team Elf!
And on top of that,
Smell.
what other advice comes to mind? Well, a lot of stuff when it comes to building your character. I would say do not build your character off of another character from something else, especially if you're going to stay, like, concrete to it. If you're going to, like, literally make it a pound for pound, inch for inch of that character, you're going to come with expectations about what you want that character to be.
And that's not the
And
story
that's
you're going
not
into.
your goddamn choice as a player. That's what the DM has in mind. Yeah, I had this guy over here was like, I'm going to make Broly. Guess what? You weren't Broly.
Not
You don't get
even
to be
on camera.
butthurt. You weren't Broly. Nope.
Yeah, weird.
I thought you were going to say to make your players not be mad at you, just give them experience points.
Good time.
I did that too.
Distraction!
Sorry, level 6 party. I threw a Kraken at you. Here, have some XP. Just don't be mad.
Now you're at level 7. Be
The
happy.
best part was we got a level though.
Yeah, we did.
We got our asses kicked. Didn't even hurt the thing. But okay. It stole
did
somebody's
8
dad. No big deal.
Oh, it's fine.
We did 8 points of damage, I think.
What about you guys?
Did we?
Any advice I'd have? Kind of go off Kassy's. Just find a group that you're comfortable with is the big thing I would say. And then from there, just have fun with it. I mean, that's just an obvious rule, but
Oh yeah.
just the
Just
sheer
have
idea
fun.
of I always love referencing it to whoever wants to get into it is the first time Travis Willingham ever played D&D. He's like, I don't know what I want to do, and Marisha just told him, you can do anything, so just do that. Really, anything. Yeah, if you want, you can walk up to a guard and punch them in the face.
I mean, or you could throw axes at doors that are not even locked.
Yep.
And then find out you roll in that 1 and then have to go to jail for it.
Because
Yeah.
did you kill a villager?
He hit a peasant in the chest.
Or the idea of someone's flirting with another NPC and you get jealous and then you light their stool on fire. That was a good time too. Kelsier burnt the stool.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't
Kelsier,
remember that.
Rex Ace, and the NPC were all thrown in jail.
I don't remember that. Was that the 3rd or 4th time Rex went to jail?
That was the
Was that the first?
third. No,
That was the first.
I don't think it was.
Yep, that was the beginning of the.
That's
that
why
was
I
the
don't
beginning
remember.
Of the whole campaign.
That was before I started taking notes, which notes are important.
I will say
Oh,
too,
yeah, notes
yes,
are
that's a
important.
All
huge
the
one, too,
notes.
if you can take notes.
All the notes.
Or if you can't take notes, record them somehow.
Yeah.
Find a way. I use my phone
yeah.
to record.
Audio notes.
Yeah, it works.
Right,
So
Ryan?
you say notes again. I'm gonna zoom really slow on your face here.
Notes.
I'm kidding.
Take all the notes. You don't have enough notes. You're gonna forget. Don't just put mirror. You won't remember. Yeah, I knew you saw
If-
that one too.
The one thing I will say about
What is this, Haley? What are you doing?
the one thing I will say about note taking is if you can, be sure to spell things correctly.
Unique.
And don't be afraid to tell your DM, hey, slow down. I'm slow. you're barfing a lot of information, because as DMs, we just kind of continue on.
Also,
Yeah,
don't
we've
write
done
them in dry erase on something where it can wipe off, because then you lose things.
Yeah.
I like how we're getting the nitty gritty of starting.
Notes.
Yeah, do it.
I mean, as somebody, I am designated note taker.
Yeah.
Designated note taker.
We normally go outside and just chit chat for an hour and a half, decompress after each session.
Hour and a half. He's being generous.
Yeah. And there was one session, I think it was a couple sessions ago, honestly, where Kassy didn't come outside, and we were a little concerned. And
that
then
was 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
That was
And
the last
Ryan
session.
finally
Oh,
came
yeah,
out.
right.
He's just like, she's still taking notes, and she didn't show up for a half an hour.
We're in the middle of a fight. I can't take notes and fight at the same time. It's hard.
Also,
Especially when you're the healer.
bear in mind the tone. I mean, where everybody's here to have fun, but also bear in mind if there's a legitimate tone to the game, whether it be how serious everybody's taking it or how serious everybody wants to take it, bear that in mind so you're not ruining the game for anybody else.
Don't make
If
jokes
you're not
and
here
shit
to
as
take it
serious.
seriously and everybody else is, maybe that group's not a good fit for you. Just in general, because goofing off and wrecking stuff in game for other players is that's not fair. Period. There's really no reason to even do that stuff. I mean, we had that exact thing where somebody's character died and they were butthurt about it and created another character, and just out of spite to defeat a boss, blew himself and 3 other player characters up just out of douchery.
That's...
Sorry, Mom.
Well, what do I know?
What?
Not you.
I'm mom, apparently.
I thought that was cleric job.
It is cleric job.
Kane, thanks.
But I got a white beard.
I got a great beard. It means I'm wise.
Well, going off the a little bit more
Whoa!
on that one, guys. The last part of the topic was, what would you tell yourself when you were starting?
I kick myself in the balls and
Take
tell myself to
notes.
play.
No, seriously, take notes. I didn't start taking notes until goddamn 30 sessions in, and I was like, I don't remember anything that happened before.
Yeah, that's definitely a good call. Even if you have to do bullet points from the start, and then
note take how you want. I don't know
Yeah.
how you note take.
I mean, we have a player that literally has 2 sides of a piece of paper where he writes down in black what his character knows, and he writes down in red just everything else to keep it straight.
As player knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. So that he can at least know in case everybody else forgets. The other thing I will say as a DM, the idea behind taking notes, and this is something I've started implementing, is that either take notes or find some way to remind yourself it's important, because I've kind of started telling people to stop tipping people off when they don't remember something. I mean, if it comes down to it,
You're a level
Post-it
6
notes.
rogue.
Yeah.
Sneak attack.
Oh, God. Jeez.
Keybind.
Figured out.
Figure it out.
Yep. To tell myself,
Record. You have a fucking phone, Nate. Use it to record.
Is it the video camera thing?
yes, that's... well, as a DM, yes. To record reactions from my players would be fucking choice. But at the same time...
Is it the key moments, dude? This moment, and this moment? Get the fucking camera.
Yeah. Pretty much. Like name dropping. Thank God that was on Discord.
I will forever have that screenshot.
Oh, face. I guess I don't feel like I made any mistakes with my first character because I made him so fucking simple. He's just big old dragonborn fighter full of angst, because why not? I will also say, starting out, I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a tragic backstory, but it's so much more fun. It really is.
It kind of is.
Have a good understanding of what you want your character to be.
Yeah.
And,
Just like take a drive and have a conversation with them.
Yep.
Figure out who the fuck they are.
I mean, even as like a DM, telling myself that just have a good understanding of what you want this world to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a home brewer, so I built my entire campaign, and just the sheer idea of having a good idea of where everything is, what's going on at what time, who people of power are. Like in the first campaign, I'll be honest, I winged it the whole fucking time. I had rough ideas of what I wanted.
Just wonged it.
Yeah, just wonged it.
Yep, that is definitely so. Otherwise, I really can't think of anything else I would specifically tell myself.
Drinks. Stay hydrated.
Yeah.
All
That's
the alcohol.
just a tip for life. Just stay hydrated.
Oh, the one thing I'd also keep in mind is, as a DM, you have the screens for a reason. So if you want to stretch the truth a little bit with a critical hit, you can do that. But be sure it has story reason why.
I don't know why anybody would do that. That just seems so shysty.
Story is more important than
never
roles.
do that.
Story
My
is more important than
ass.
roles.
Matt.
What?
Oh my gosh, you guys are fighting a bear. It rolled a critical. Whoopsies. Guess you gotta go to this place.
Oh, injured this person's prosthetic arm. Guess you have to go to this place to get it repaired.
I don't want
Boom,
to fight
story.
bears anymore.
Suddenly
no more
bears.
No more
Oh
bears.
yeah. Here's my little DM tip for all you DMs that don't know how to really fuck with your characters. Find a way, just pick something, and make it something so subtle for one character that it becomes a complex. It's actually not that hard. It's really not.
I feel like he's directing that at one of us.
I mean,
I'm
I
looking
got
at the camera.
thrown across a fucking forest by a bear, and now I'm afraid of bears.
Yeah, actually, it kind of was.
Actually, it was a swamp.
Swamp. There was trees. I hit a tree.
There were trees.
I hit a tree. Okay,
Yep.
I was thrown by not just a bear, spawn a Chernobog.
Yeah.
In
There was
Creature
something.
Codex.
Oh yeah, and then the
the
fucking
Cobalt Press.
druid decides he wants to be a bear all the time. That's cool.
Bear complex.
It's totally
How
cool. What
a
other bear?
bear-
We fought
oh.
another bear though. There's something else with a bear.
There wasn't a bear. I just don't remember when the bear was.
There was a second bear. I just don't. Yeah, I don't remember the second bear.
It's barely there. I can't quite.
It's hibernating.
Shut the fuck up! No one asked you.
Puns are the height of comedy.
No, they're not. Sarcasm is the height of comedy.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm like really trying to think of what I'd tell myself besides just as your first time, and if it's how you DM, don't be afraid to take from other things.
Oh yeah, steal shamelessly.
But make sure you make it just different enough. I tried to challenge myself to as much as possible outside of what player characters wanted to not steal directly. Like little bits here and there, like NPCs themed off other characters from shit. That's fine. But yeah,
I was
early
shameless.
on, go ahead.
I was
Especially if you're
shameless.
homebrewing. Homebrewing is remarkably difficult. So
I literally stole like Magic the Gathering
stuff from everything.
You literally had all the characters from Critical Role in your first campaign.
Yes,
that
I
is
did.
also true.
100% I did, and I had
Very
no
true.
idea how to play them. And just again, have a good understanding of how you want these characters to be played if you're a DM.
Yeah. And take it
A
slow.
very
You
good.
don't have to build a monstrous world for starters.
Now you tell me.
Could be just a continent.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Kit.
This cat's looking at me like I said some shit to it earlier today.
He's like half biscuiting my knees.
Just half.
Yeah, so it's just the claws. He's not actually picking up his paws at all.
D&D.
What? Charlie is
D&D
very
books.
pivotal for D&D. He is the one that gives all the dice the luck. That's why he sleeps on your chair.
Mm.
He's making sure you have the luck.
So I can murder you all later.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Why do you betray me?
Is that all you guys want to say on that spot?
That's all I have to say about that. Because again,
Don't forget notes.
notes is a huge thing. Just if you can find any.
Pay the fuck attention. Get off your fucking phone.
Nice.
Be there.
Subtle.
Like, be present.
Well, just in general, come on. Like, it's disrespectful to your DM if you're not paying attention.
I can totally agree with that mindset.
What are you asking for, like, 8 hours of your time a day? No, I'm kidding.
8 hours of your time a day.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a job.
So with kind of going off of that a little bit, just because of the kind of what you guys have already talked about, why don't we dive into a little bit of like, I mean, fuck it. Let's talk a little bit about the first campaign that we were all involved in a little bit more, and you could even go so far as like, what would be some of your favorite D&D moments from your first campaign, and why were those like so enjoyable for the first campaign? Who wants to go first?
Start with yours.
Okay, fair.
So, I will go first with two of my favorites. First was one we already talked about, where I tricked our DM into allowing me to do 20d6 per attack.
When we didn't
As a
know how
fighter.
dual wielding worked.
Yeah.
Well, again, we were new to the whole thing. and
Yes.
Yeah, that was a
and
good moment.
It goes
because
along well with that, where...
real quick, I do love it how at first I was like, I don't see a problem in this. Next fight.
What have I done?
What did it do?
I even told him, like...
It's literally the
lemon
glasses take off and it's just the shaky hand of Mother of God. He's become too powerful.
I can't
Let's see.
without my glasses.
I can't see without my glasses.
Dear.
So with that being said, being a fighter, two of my favorites were nearly one-shotting a boss, leaving it with like 30 hit points. And this was a 1,500 hit point boss. Yeah,
No,
a little
it was
excessive.
higher. But
Whatever.
still.
And then using Sentinel to pull a dragon out of the air from it bitching out.
Yeah, those are two pretty great moments.
Yeah.
Just because, like, in order, like, the dragon was one where someone had to work, and she was livid that she was missing the fight.
I was pacing at work, and I'm like, there's a dragon. I have to be there. Guys,
And the part I
don't
love is, like, the
understand.
reason I wanted it to flee was so someone could actually fight the dragon, and then you're like, but no.
But come here.
I think I showed up, like, right in the middle of that fight, though.
And my favorite part, you showed up as soon as someone killed it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
I think
right
no,
when
I
you
think
were-
I got like one
did
turn
not- yeah.
in. I got one turn in, and that was getting teleported to the fight because we were.
All right, and
I
here,
was
let's fuck
somewhere
this thing. All right. And this was like a whole
Thanks.
backstory worth of
Yeah,
like, I
this is
hate
my
this dragon.
backstory, dragon.
It's attacking her hometown. This is not the first time this thing has fucked with her character, and now it's just
yeah.
like, oh, I'm sorry,
Like-
do you want in on this? Stab, stab, stab.
That was I'm gonna prove myself to my former
Look at my new belt
employer.
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 That's what we called him.
And then the second
Yeah.
fight was someone got poisoned to the point where they were going to die. So the plan was to kill her and then bring her back, which you did.
Oh.
And then you got so fucking livid with these creatures that you're like, okay, this boss appears. I go for all 4 of my attacks. I then action surge, and then I gave them a unique item that for their Constitution modifier, which I think for you is 4, you gain that many more attacks. So for all you
9
math blasters
attacks out
out there,
20d6. Do the math.
and then again, the part to go kind of go off that, it's not one of my favorites, but I'm just like sitting there with like, who's next
It's
on deck?
160 d6.
I just love it. Of all right, who's on deck?
Just wait. Just wait.
And you're just waiting there for like the total,
And you're just here.
And then the part I love is when you get a text message from someone just of someone in a creepy pose like, What you thinking about? It's so fucking hard you have to leave.
That was where that came from.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I forgot about that too.
That was great.
Oh, it was so
And
good.
it was from his brother too.
And it was so fucking funny because he just like he mentioned it to me. He's like, Nate, I was watching you that whole time. And you're just like, send.
That
It
was
so
almost as good as the airdrop last night.
Oh god.
Wait.
Plates.
Wait, what?
What?
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh.
Whitney airdrop plates.
Yeah, that was about it.
And I do like the kind of going off that too. I probably would put this as one of my favorites, but so the next boss was two like bosses. One was like a powerful like wizard riding a dragon. And then because of what level they are and the items that they were searching for, someone had a loot that if on a performance check, they could charm a dragon. They couldn't use any legendary saves or anything like that. And of course, when a bard gets it and has a double proficiency in performance, it's like 3 billion, bitch. And then the dragon's like, what do you want me to do? Just plummet and kill the boss.
Just dive down.
Yeah. It's like
suicide bomb,
again,
like
I was
kamikaze,
built
that
in this,
shit.
like, Destiny raid level shit, so it's like this whole complex process. And then literally boiled down to two bosses being one-shotted in a single second. It's like, well, this sucks.
Well, I don't know what to do for the next 4 sessions.
We were just sick and tired of your fucking living metal bullshit, so.
Good times.
Oh, yeah, that was great. It was 2 deaths.
Yeah.
And then
That poor baby.
I took her out behind the shed.
Literally.
Now it's on fire.
Fucking literally.
Yes.
Which one of yours?
So
I know my next.
So from first campaign, my favorite moment, I still say this is like my favorite moment, was not in combat, but a failed wisdom save. I think it was a wisdom save against getting charmed.
Oh, yes. So an NPC had the ability to possess someone. Yours truly, the Tiefling Druid.
Yeah, who had like a fucking 22 wisdom.
Yeah.
She was wise as fuck. Fucking nat 1 on a wisdom save and
literally
charmed.
was going to possess her to kill her boyfriend NPC.
Yeah. And that failure saved his goddamn life.
Yeah. Good times.
That
I
was
think one of my
perfect.
favorites for her. Oh shit! Don't tell me I just blanked on it.
That's the worst. That is the fucking worst.
I wasted the button push to go to your camera.
But with that same character, another moment I fucking love was when
Oh.
someone casted disguise self to make themselves look like a doctor. And they ran up to a character
Oh,
that
God,
you were
no!
banging. And it's like, how are you like physically and everything? Like, we have to ensure that you're doing okay.
You're
And they-
pregnant.
Well, we have to make sure the baby's okay. What baby? And literally all they say, oh, I have to go. And just leaves! And this NPC, and the best part too, is everyone went for a smoke break. So literally it was the DM and 2 other people. And the person that was banging left the room, so they were not aware of this.
I just came back
And
in
came
and
back
I was
to
like,
a
what?
Goliath running to you. Are you pregnant, Anne?
No!
And then,
What?
And then there's
Who
the
would run
bard,
through?
my fucking brother. Excellent.
One
Yes, this pleases me.
of my favorites for Cassy's character, and this is not like, oh, it's hilarious. It was just like, this was stressful for me to be there because I was fucking pissed that I wasn't allowed to come along, was when she dealt with her former employer.
Yeah.
At which point, I think it was either
Same session?
you or your boyfriend who was charmed trying to kill the other one.
I was.
I remember
I
Mirren
tried to kill him.
charmed like either Rami or Corvo.
Rami.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rami was charmed. Rami was straight up charmed. She was like right about to stab him when she fucking snapped out of it and murdered Mirren instead.
Yeah, that was a DM standpoint of thinking like, I don't want this to happen, so I'm just gonna keep offering saving throws until this doesn't go this way.
Yeah.
I remember Nate being like, just keep rolling, because fuck, how much can I draw this out so that she doesn't murder this character?
Yeah. I myself as a DM was terrified of what was going to happen because that character was highly fucking important.
Had fucking 22 wisdom.
Yeah. That's when you had your, what is it, your break skin armor?
Yeah, my break skin. Bark skin.
Oh, another little bit of
Wait.
tip.
It was
Another tip is if you're going to hand out magical items, use spell check correctly.
Or just in general.
I have spell check. It fails me every time because even I don't know what the fuck I'm reading.
It is break, yep.
It has to
Break
at least
from a
know
tree.
what you were trying to say.
Unique.
Uniac.
Yeah. God, what other moments in that campaign?
I mean that.
I mean, besides the drug head going into the sewers and getting one of his fingers shot off.
The conversation those two had when they were, Steven was like actually high.
And here's Nate just, I guess I'm doing this.
Alright, I guess I gotta...
Okay.
Oh, that's happening.
Steven's back for the weekend. He wants to play. Alright, Christ.
The Tarrasque was interesting. When we pulled that in.
I'm gonna turn into a bird and fly at it.
Yeah.
Oh, was that
This is your
wit?
Yeah. This is your first session with that character and you're gonna what? No.
I got this. I think another one of my favorites was It's a Rogue in a Box.
Oh!
I have to get my soul back from this douchey, weird-handed tiger. And what does he want me to do? Hey, go murder everybody's favorite goddamn grandpa. Okay, well, let's do this. Where is he now? Oh, he's sleeping in a room with, like, some hokey-finokey, questionable sexuality archmage. And it's just like, oh, this is the perfect time.
And my favorite part, that same character, the wizard in the room, had alarmed the door and was ready to cast any spell as soon as he was woken up. So literally, walks in the room, ready to kill, held person. Well, where are you going, friend?
What you doing?
What do you want me to do with him? Do whatever you want. Okay, marble, box.
Yeah, squish him into a fucking fun-sized candy bar.
It's a little bit.
Put him in a shoebox and add it to the collection.
I still think I have that box with that character in it still.
Oh my god, that was great. That was great. There are so many moments.
That campaign was so weird.
There's so... Oh my Jesus. Yeah,
Pulling two lovers through a portal to murder them.
That was fun.
Spite and a desire to put them to rest. There was a lot of just pure aggression on my character's part, which is probably what led to his situation. Especially by the end. I got ripped in half, and now I'm fine. I'm fine.
Everything's fine. Though I will say, that final boss fight, I loved it originally because...
You're
a
like,
turtle! Yeet!
the part I love, though, was...
You eat a turtle,
so
rip
I had,
the fighter in half.
Basically, they were fighting a very powerful dragon entity. And
something.
It was there. And then Matt let me borrow a mini.
There.
And the whole time, he's like, hey, did you forget it? Sure.
Yeah, I fucked up the surprise that we were not fighting the boss.
It was an illusion of the boss.
Because
and then I had the mini off to the side, and it was just fucking hilarious. I'm like, did you forget it? No. Oh, it's an illusion!
Fuck me!
He's just letting you get off whatever the fuck you wanted to laugh at you. Good fucking times. God, what other crazy fuck off moments were in that campaign?
Metagame knowledge. You don't know something in game. You don't know something. Stop trying to make it real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice.
You weren't there for that conversation. You don't know what happened.
Stay out of it.
You don't even know.
Just enjoy the chaos.
Because chaos reigns.
Chaos reigns.
It's very hard as a DM too, though. Well, what about my first campaign then?
Too much, actually.
Oh,
Like going from the beginning, I loved it when a very talented rogue rolled a nat one and stumbled downstairs. That was so good.
I'll go first because I'm sneaky.
Meant to do it.
I was like level 5, man. Level 6.
We were 20.
We were not level 20. That was when Yellet was still around. There's no way.
Yeah, the halfling in a tutu.
One of my favorites early on, we'll just start with early on, is the hour and 20-minute long conversation about how to make ourselves look like a god.
Oh,
It was like my Mercer chair situation where I'm just like,
Because we had a god in the party. We
yeah,
didn't even
you already
know it.
know this, but fuck's sake.
Oh, we didn't know, which was the best part.
We had no idea. No. Sepatan figured it out.
Well, yes.
But nobody believes Sepatan because
Yeah.
it's fucking Sepatan.
He's a 17-year-old kid in a wheelchair. So,
You're not on camera.
he's got a camera right there.
Shh.
Another good one. JL, sorry, I'm going to have to murder your brother because he wants me to.
That was so good.
What?
No.
Hope you don't mind. I kind of need to murk a dude.
No.
Your brother in a coma? He wants me to murder him. I'm sorry.
What?
Get out. Or
Why are you here?
The trials.
fixing. Ooh.
The trials.
Fixing the fence.
That we later murdered again.
Some bonding over fence building. My favorite moment was like, okay, this big fight just finished, and now I have to like deal with it. So I spent like a week and a half planning out what I was gonna do. Immediately, beginning of the session, he's not there. What?
That was so
Fuck
fucking
this!
Straight launching the notebook over her shoulder,
Like, no, I had plans!
5 pages front and back of shit.
Off. You like legitimately stormed off. You were pissed the fuck off.
Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yeah, he bamfed out of existence and then came right back. Like a few moments later.
And I'm like, great! I had a whole speech! Out the window!
Killing a bunch of thugs was awesome.
Oh.
By myself, just soloing, like I think it was 5 dudes.
Straight John Wicking a bunch of like rapist-y ass pieces of shit from the Feywilds.
I'm so mad I had to go to my Christmas party.
Can I make a note real quick about what Nate just said?
What?
That he got excited about soloing 5 dudes. Just want to leave that out there.
Are you jealous?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talented, man.
Darkness.
Why do you think I have this pineapple shirt?
Perfect.
I think the first
You're not
person
too
who
broad, are you?
shoved
No?
a pineapple
Perfect.
out of his ass and scared.
What was another great? I mean, like besides like the moments that you just never forget, like I
Alright.
still fucking love.
Jumping out of the window with the demon.
Yeah.
That was pretty great, actually.
That was fucking awesome.
When I had a choice to either bring back my character's dead wife,
Ooh, and you bitched out of it.
I was ready to bitch out of it, or like bring her back, or
You tried.
leave her to rest.
You tried to bitch
I
out.
did.
Those times when you just want to melt your dice down because they fail you. Make a dex check to see if you can beat her from pulling the knife in your hand into her. And you lost by 2. Fucking 2.
Hey, is that better than my wisdom saves?
Yeah, well.
Well, that's not this campaign, so it's okay.
Yeah,
that was
we're
a
not
great
on that
moment,
campaign
just
yet.
because it wasn't like a moment like that brought happiness. It was just a
You're
moment of
making
just
my
pure
lap
shock
sweat.
Yeah.
for me, because it was just that happened, and now what?
Yeah, the context of I'm going to take my current girlfriend to this grave to find the Horseman of Death. Because a little birdie told me, too soon for little birdie at that point?
It's all right. It's dead and gone.
Told me that I can sacrifice her to get my dead wife back. In the last second, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do this. But unfortunately, girly friend touched the stone that the Horseman of Death was it's sealed inside of, which basically shows you your most imminent death, whether it be right now or in a few weeks or something like that. So she saw the fact exactly what he was going to do, and called him out on his bullshit, and then he chickened out, and she's just like, nah, you wanted this. And
Well, the
uses
best
the blade in the stone in his hand, grabs his hand and stabs herself.
Well, the best part was I told her about it.
What about murdering a child?
Shotgun blast to the face, yeah. Again, context.
Superpowered child.
Psychotic little lightning child that don't speak so good.
Oh, no.
Comes running up to dude who now has the Horseman of War inside of his head, telling him to murder shit. I don't know what you're saying, kid.
I don't like that.
You brought up falling down the stairs.
That's fair. Actually.
But we bring up the allow you to stay.
Oh yeah.
The inside jokes of campaign.
Oh, that's a good moment too. Just the we're done here. We don't need you. Go away. Okay, I guess you're not coming.
What was his name?
Craxus.
Craxus,
You're
yeah.
done, and everyone's like, okay, I guess you're
Okay,
done.
Mom
Bye.
said we're done, so bye.
And then the
See you
part I
later.
love later. Yeah, if it's all right, I need you to join along. Can you bring us? Oh, you are joining. You what? The fuck?
He's
You
just like-
never gave him an option. Basically, Mom said that he couldn't come to the club.
Yeah, Grumpy Puss said stay away.
No, I was
Because your
just-
sword's
Can't
alive.
stay over for dinner.
No, I was like, we don't need help. We're fine. Leave us alone. Fucking psycho.
You are being dropped into a blender full of feces. You don't want this. That's the joy of characters joining late.
Just like, you don't understand.
You don't get it.
You think this is a shitstorm? No, it's a Sharknado.
Your first day on the job, a kraken's gonna climb out of the fucking city. I'm sorry, a land kraken.
Fuck, that's
So
right.
hermit crab kraken.
Oh, we're covering the big
Because
moments.
I'm a douchebag.
No, because that was like, that was right
Well,
when
that
we
was
got Kraxus.
The Kraken? No, that was after.
The land kraken?
Afterward, yeah,
Yeah,
like
it was
right after
right
we got him.
after. We came back.
Oh, yeah,
I left for the
basically.
Shadowfell, and shit hit the fan.
She went to go get her new tuxedo in the Shadowfell, and then
It was
A badass fucking
Yeah.
blade in the...
ex-boyfriend kidnapped her son and summoned a possessed hermit crab kraken.
That was such an intense night.
Meanwhile, poor Kassy just sitting there like,
Because the part that made it worse...
come back now?
No, not only was I went to the Shadowfell and then was sucked into the fucking void.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had to go and recover your shiny new toy. So it's all like
Fucking
Christmas
sword.
for Kassy.
Yeah. It was
And then it's
fucking
just
great.
like, by the way, shit on your day.
Yeah, you got like this cool new armor and a cool new sword. But guess what? Your kid's gone.
I just remember that. We need to talk. What happened? What's going on? I guess I'll do it. Because I was starting to never look. Who wants to mention it to Elle?
Dead silence.
Fine, I'll fucking do it. Damn it.
Nope. No one wants this.
Was it just the whole like?
She was kind of terrifying.
I wasn't terrible. Anyway.
Especially crawling out of that gate, just like all black, head to toe, hood, mask,
Yep.
and a shiny sword
Yep.
made out of a fucking star.
Yep.
Killing all the slavers was also really cool. At least someone wasn't knocked out. Wait,
I think joyfully making cookies to put a lesbian dragon to sleep was great too.
Oh,
That was
yes.
just one of those more like wholesome moments where it's just like, all right.
I made you cookies.
That reminds me of what fucking Adrian tried to give you a fucking cookie.
Oh,
You would go
yeah.
to the Feywild.
Oh,
Oberon cookie.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I
Forgot about that.
Fucking Oberon cookies.
Mm-hmm. The boner cookie.
Fucking.
Or
date
my
rape.
favorite, I need to go have a drink to unwind before I have this
No.
conversation with my ex. Oh, by the way, this is a specialized drink that makes you feel the exact opposite of how you normally feel about everything for a certain amount of time.
I didn't know how she felt about the situation until I was like, oh.
That's
Ow.
how you challenge your players.
Ow!
By the way, all the emotions, swap.
You really like this? It's suddenly your least favorite thing in the world.
Yep. To go have a supposed to be intimidating, I don't like you, stay the fuck away from our son conversation with your ex suddenly turns into,
Good times.
you're not so bad. And he's just, what?
Fuck.
Who are you? What's happening?
Such a conflict of emotion. Should we
That
cover
was
those big ones?
So scary.
Oh, yeah.
Say, let's do
Lush.
one more favorite moment to wrap up.
Well, then fine. All the final boss fights.
All the
Shax, Ravencroft, and the big
Yeah,
ones,
Zadie.
Hades himself.
Yeah, and even Ildramard.
Oh,
Just the
I-
sheer rage of Mama Bear stabbing the shit out of a worm made entirely out of shadow.
That was pretty.
Give me back my son!
Yep.
Yeah.
All the good reveals. That's the thing, as a DM, it just makes it so much better when your characters give enough to the point where, like, they react. Not so much their characters react, but
the
players react. Because that makes it so much better. It makes you realize that, like, oh shit, they actually give a shit about the crack I'm selling. And that just makes it, like, so much better, whereas having players where it's just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Oh. Well, that's a shame. So I know it's hard to find, like, the right kind of group for that level of...
But yeah, there's like the
Yeah.
big reveal, and half the table's like, oh, okay.
Who?
And then there's Nate and I just like, what?
Yeah.
Ah!
So it's just like, I don't know what's going on.
Wayne's World stop. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
And I just love every time Ryan goes, don't you love it when something big happens and Kassy and Nate are the only ones that react to it because they're the only ones that remember why it's
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's how you take notes.
At least he
Oh,
knows
that-
that's reason why.
I'm dead inside.
But I mean, like, as far as like big boss moments, like LeShax was just fucking terrifying because it's
So
like we
scary.
knew how to kill him. The question was, how do we do it?
Well, and the worst part is he told you guys he was coming and when he'd be there.
Yeah.
And so you guys had all the time to prepare, and then he just sat outside and waited.
Just fucking wait.
You knew you needed specialized equipment to even hurt him.
And the part that was great is like we just got done doing something, and it's like a guard knocks on our door and says, "There's someone outside." Who? This guy. Let's go. And it's just like, oh god, things just got real.
Oh shit.
Or an angry succubus and her pet
Oh my!
torture chamber, or like Iron Maiden mimic kidnap a loved one from each of the player characters.
That was so
Trying to
fucking
figure
good.
out how to get them all out of the bags was the hardest
Oh
thing.
my god, it was
You have
so
4
good.
turns of time stop. Use them wisely.
Yeah, and that was like you could only affect a certain number of people.
Somebody lost a head, and I think somebody
Yeah,
That
broke
was
a
Knott's
leg.
dad.
Yeah.
Nate's character's
Dad.
dad. He just came back like, wow, all right, that's weird.
My neck feels so less stiff now. Where's my opium? Where's my suit?
Where's my son?
And then the big one was just you could feel it in the room the whole time leading to the final fight of that campaign.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it was just silent.
The airship ride there, nobody had anything to say.
Nobody wanted to talk.
And it's
about
so
it.
good from a DM standpoint to be like, okay, I wrote down this one line that this guy's gonna say, and then I'll just go right into fighting because that's the kind of character he is. And then it just devolves into everybody saying, I'm sorry, we don't want to be here, we don't want to do this. And
But we all know we have to do
it's
this.
horrible.
it's either this or you end the population of the world.
Well, the part
We
I
can't
love
let
about
that
it is like
happen.
both sides realize that none of us want to be here, but no matter what, we have to.
Yeah.
And it was just that realization itself that just
It's like the Civil War when you turn up on the battle lines and your fucking brother's across.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You're like, ooh.
I
Yeah.
still
Made a
picture
mistake.
that moment, like when we walked into the
Jesus,
cave, right?
talking
It was a cave.
No, it
No,
was a
it was-
cliff.
Oh, it was a cliff.
it was a
Even
mountain.
so, when we walked into it, it's like an Endgame when Iron Man, Cap, and Thor like just they walk around the corner and he's just sitting there.
Yeah. What's
That's
he been
how I always
doing?
Pictured that moment. Back to me.
Yep.
yeah, that was so good because it was just like 3 words of dialogue, and then it's like, you ready? We're ready to. And then we roll for initiative.
Squaring off
Roll for
25
initiative.
characters
us,
against one.
45 minutes to get everybody's initiative straight.
I also love it how that fight was 2 separate sessions to finish.
It was. We had halftime.
Yeah, it was just fucking crazy.
I cried at halftime. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I cried at halftime.
I almost cried at the end when he finally died. Because I had to write that in a way that's all just like fucking tear jerking of him just dropping to one knee, still leaning on his sword and bleeding out. Nobody gets to cut his head off. Nobody gets this epic destroy the bad guy, throw the Emperor
like,
into
the
the
thing
Death
that-
Star bullshit. No, it's just
The thing that made it so good is
former
like
hero collapsing.
Well, yeah.
the thing that made it so good is none of us would have wanted to.
Yeah.
No.
Like it's like we could plunge him into like a pit. Who
'Cause I-
fucking would?
Yeah, I technically had the last hit, and it was reactionary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just fuck, here he comes again, attack, and because he was weak, it was just straight into the armor.
Yeah, it was
Still
so-
reeling from a fucking 6-pack of missiles hitting him.
But the part that was also so great about it was how the whole party reacted to it. That this was a hero that died,
He was a
not a
hero.
villain, a hero,
Yeah.
and we put him to rest.
Yeah. He
And we just
saved the
gave him,
world
like-
once.
Yeah, we just gave him like an honorable burial.
Ooh, that's like my new creed. Just putting heroes to rest when their job is done.
If we have to fight Zadis, I'm gonna be very perturbed.
Oh God! Like you're supposed to be dead.
How to do this?
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Good thing I'm proficient in killing the dead.
Real quick, a great moment. Your eyes are like diamonds.
Let's save that story for next time.
Your eyes are like diamonds, and
Oh,
your hair like the,
The
sunset.
sunset.
I mean, if we're going off of weird random moments, what about when I jumped on that mice and and tried to saw its head off with a dagger? Like, wait, these things aren't bad. What?
Who did that?
Me!
Oh god.
Oh, so many.
We
good-
thought they were gonna steal Alma.
Oh yeah, we saw. Yep. Okay, now I remember that moment. That was pretty great.
And they just wanted to help her.
And then running away from a shadow.
Yep.
Good times. What you
You gonna wrap us up or what?
I'm trying to. You guys are stopping.
Oh, sorry.
Well, every time there's a lull, that's when you cut in to shut us
Alright,
up.
cool.
Otherwise, we'll keep going.
No,
like
he
you
wants
told
to
us
talk over us. He's waiting for us all to speak so he can talk over us. And
Yeah, right. I'm getting used to this. Thank you guys for joining us on this very first episode of The Expired Toadstool, a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. If you enjoyed what we were talking about here today, whether you want us to talk more on like topics of D&D or even just going over more of the sessions that these guys were discussing, we can do that. Let us know in the comments below and leave us a like, and then we'll see you next time. All right, everybody, say goodbye. Bye.
Bye. I'll wave to my webcam. Bye.
Wave over here.
What? Bye. Now we have to.
Yeah.
Bye,
There you go.
poster of our current party.